Hey, bros.
Hey, buddy.
Welcome back to Three Bros and a Buddy, folks. It is episode 5. I'm your host, Paul Hine, here with my co-hosts, Ben and Braden Karen, and Drew Hamilton. So, we got a lot to talk about today. Honestly, I think we might even have to do 2 parts, depending on how long some of this stuff takes. So, let's start off with NFL free agency and trades. Now, there have been like 15 or 20 moves that have happened in the last day or two. So we're just going to talk about the most important ones as we see it. And, we'll just go through them one by one. So, Jalen Ramsey, the Dolphins. What do you guys think?
For me personally, it's kind of the thing. They already have an elite corner in Xavier Howard. They just obviously Byron Jones is gone, but I think at this point they're kind of in a position where it's not a bad thing to have 2 elite corners, but I don't think it was necessary. And plus, I know Jalen Ramsey's only 28, but he didn't have a great year last year. So we'll see. It's an okay move. It's not an elite move, but I like it, especially if you're going to have to face Rodgers possibly twice a year and Allen twice a year. It's never a bad thing to have good elite corners, but
it certainly makes them better. Even if they don't necessarily need 2 elite corners, it can certainly help a championship team. Think about when the Patriots had, Gilmore and J.C. Jackson, for a couple of years, they were both really elite. So, that definitely could be an add. I'm not saying they're going to win a championship like, the Patriots had when they had Gilmore and J.C. Jackson. But, it definitely could put them in a better spot to win a playoff game if they can lock down, some number 1 receivers.
Yeah, I like that there's two top corners on one team.
Right. Exactly.
Obviously you're gonna have that
Makes
number
it
1
interesting.
receiver. Yeah, number 1 receiver is gonna be covered regardless who's on him.
Right.
And then that second receiver is kind of gonna be out of the equation. So
right.
Obviously he's 28, he had a little bit of a down year, but he could have a bounce back year and be a top cornerback again. So
right.
I think it's pretty good.
All right.
what do you think about it?
I agree with that.
All right.
I think it just can't really hurt the team.
Right.
Move on to the next one. Jimmy Garoppolo to the Raiders. 3 years, $67.5 million, 34 of that guaranteed. What do you guys think about this one?
It's not like much of an upgrade, if not even.
I would call it a slight downgrade.
It's a downgrade. Derek Carr compared to Jimmy Garoppolo did get the 49ers also 2 Super
But
Bowls.
his team, the team around him was so good.
Yeah, but I think
Jimmy Garoppolo is good, but I think maybe
rather
he passed his
Derek
best year as possible.
Injury prone too, very injury prone. I will say one thing, him kind of knowing the McDaniel system is going to help. He's going to have some good security blankets there. They obviously will talk about Jacoby Myers just signed there today. They're going to have Devontae. It is pretty funny. They're going to have Devontae Adams, obviously, but the big thing for them is their defense sucks. So, it's a slight downgrade, but it's not horrible at that position.
I don't think it'll take their team or anything.
They're still an 8-9, 7-10 football team until they fix especially their secondary.
And they got him for a lot less money than they would have gotten Carr for. So, and I don't know, comparatively, is the value of Jimmy Garoppolo at that level of paying him, is that almost more valuable than what Derek Carr
would have.
had? You know what I'm saying? Like, at each price point, who's more valuable?
Right. I think that's a fair point. You can't argue that Garoppolo wins, whatever you want to say. And a quarterback or winning's not a QB stat in my eye, but you can't deny that he's won everywhere he's been. So
yeah.
Yeah. I think you kind of know what you're going to get out of him. He's going to play decent football. He's
reliable.
He's reliable. He's not going to be a top quarterback or a bottom of the league quarterback. He's just going to be your average dude.
Right.
That should win you a couple games.
Right. Sam Darnold to the Niners for a year.
Personally, I think Sam Darnold's going to have, but they already have Trey Lance and
Brock
Purdy,
Purdy.
right?
I don't know why they would need Sam.
There was they had 3 quarter injury this year. So
yeah.
I guess it kind of.
He's probably third in line. That's right.
Yeah, but Trey Lance
it's only a 1
is
year
going out in week 2, missing a whole season.
Yeah.
Come back from injury, and then Brock Purdy obviously having surgery. Like you're gonna have
I mean,
How
those two
long is
might
Brock
not be-
Purdy going to be out into the next season?
Well, 6 months from the surgery, so you're probably looking at probably early September. So he's not going to be in training camp. None of that. Darnold might be, and do they really think Lance is ready? This deal more so signals to me that they don't think Lance is ready still, which is a problem because we're going on year 3,
Yeah.
and he needs
Yeah.
to start playing football.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse at this point. So this kind of concerns me. And Sam Darnold is a fine quarterback. He's not elite. He played very well down the stretch last year.
Carolina.
But yeah, we'll see. It's interesting move. That's what it mostly signals to me, that they have some lack of confidence in Lance maybe. But yeah, nothing I think too significant there.
Anybody else have anything on that?
I think
Patrick Peterson to the Steelers.
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think the Steelers definitely get better, but do I think it changes a lot? In terms of, are they gonna make a run of the playoffs or anything? No, I don't think so. I mean, yeah, I just don't see that adding enough to push them over the edge into being like a super competitive team. But he certainly is one of the best in the league, on the defensive side of the ball. So for sure.
I mean, he's 32.
I mean,
he's
maybe
kind
he's
of
a little past his prime.
Yeah,
but
he's been down on the downhill
He
slide.
has.
Especially when you're going to be signing him until he's 34. Like, when he's 34, how much production are you going to get out of an older, quarterback?
I guess so.
He had
but,
elite speed, but like, I don't know.
committing to 2 years isn't a huge commitment.
I
So
mean, yeah, Arizona is great, but
You got to remember, Minnesota had like the worst secondary in the league, and he was the best guy in that secondary. So, I mean, Pittsburgh's got a great defense. I wouldn't be surprised if you're looking at it 2 years from now. He might be on the bench for a rookie. Tomlin does a great job developing secondary guys. Does a great job developing defenders as it is. They're great at drafting. So, as a fill guy, kind of for 2 years, like a filling guy, Pat Pete is a quarterback 2 or even 3 at this point in his career is not a terrible thing to have. So, yeah.
Javon Hargrave, $84 million, 40 guaranteed, 4 years.
Really good run stuffer. Gonna be big for the Niners. It's something they needed, honestly. It's the one hole that they had. If you watch the NFC title game, Philly was able to run the ball down the middle of the field. Everywhere else, they're elite. They're obviously elite on the edge with Bosa. They're obviously elite at linebacker with Fred Warner. And their secondary played very well, having an all-pro safety. So very good signing by them. They need to win a Super Bowl. They need to win a Super Bowl with that roster. So I like the move a lot.
Yeah.
I like the move a lot.
Yeah,
I
they
think it's
definitely covered
definitely
their need. Jermaine Edwards,
Tremaine, not Jermaine. Tremaine.
Oh, I wrote it down wrong.
That's
My bad. Tremaine Edwards. Sorry, I thought you said German last night. My bad. So 4 years for $72 million, 40 of it guaranteed. I definitely like this move. He's been a good defender for the Bills for a long time.
I mean,
For a while.
the Bears. I mean, they're trying to make some moves to become, a playoff contender team. So I think it's a good move for
I
them.
could see it in a couple of years. You look at that receiving core now. You got DJ Moore, Darnell Mooney, Chase Claypool. Nice little core.
Little cool.
So
Yeah, like I like what they're doing. I think it was a pretty good move.
I don't like it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like. That's one position I wouldn't pay a lot of money for. Is linebacker. I know they got a really good young linebacking core there now, but I think it's a really not a smart move. I think it's spending a lot of money on a position you don't need to spend money on, in my opinion. Like linebacker. I think even running back in the NFL. I think even tight end. Those are positions I don't think you spend big money on. So.
it depends on who you're talking about,
But I
It's
just
hard longevity.
I just don't think it's because in today's NFL, it's not a position of need. And plus, Tremaine Edwards, while he's great, he's fantastic. Linebackers need to be more of a hybrid. They need to be able to cover, and I think Tremaine Edwards he's an okay coverage linebacker, I think. But the run game is kind of obsolete now in the NFL, where it's used a lot less. So
Paul.
Okay, I was talking about wide receiver course. Speaking of wide receivers, Jacoby Myers signs with the Raiders as Hammy alluded to earlier. 3-year deal, $33 million, 21 of it guaranteed. So I want to talk about a little bit of both sides of the deal.
Of course, he wants to talk about the Patriots.
Pats are in a little bit of trouble. I mean, Jacoby Myers was probably
The best
realistically a number 2 wide receiver already. And he was your number 1, and now you lost him. Who's your number 1 at this point if you don't sign someone or trade for someone?
I can speak as a Patriots fan. Obviously, last year was tough with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator.
Yeah. Hopefully, Bill O'Brien will fix.
Well, I don't
this
think Bill
system.
O'Brien's a savior either. I think everybody in the room.
I said fix it a little. I didn't say he was a savior.
I wasn't talking about you. I was just talking about fans in general.
All right.
Quite outside.
Easy.
But-
Take it easy. Take it easy.
Yeah, I think losing Jacoby Myers, I'm not surprised. He got less than I thought he would, honestly. I thought somebody would have paid more. But as a Patriots fan, this is kind of the thing. I wouldn't say we're poverty, but we're purgatory now. We're just in an everlasting state of 8-9, 9-8, 10-7, 7-10. That's the type of situation we're in. I think Patriot fans need to become realistic on that. And that they don't have a wide receiver 1, and they probably won't have a wide receiver 1 because that's just the way Belichick operates, and that's the way it's going to look. Probably you only have Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, and Devontae Parker, and I think they're all the same guy basically. So you're looking at a tough spot. I really like the Patriots day 1 if we're going to talk about it. Jonathan Jones they re-signed. I really love Jonathan Jones in the back end. Traded Jonnu Smith. I really like.
Yep. They did not need both Hunter Henry and Jonas.
Well, Hunter Henry's got 1 year left on the deal, so use him for the last year and then get a new group of tight ends because these 2 signings were failures. I would even say Hunter Henry's kind of not been a great signing. I think he's been okay, but they're a dumpster fire offensively. They don't know what they want to do. So we'll see.
Except run the ball.
We'll see.
Damon Harrison and Madre. 2 pretty damn good running backs. Both could be number 1, in my opinion. If they were on separate teams. But it seems to be kind of a running back by committee type of approach.
I mean, that's how it's always been.
That's how it has always been. And on the other side of it, Raiders now have a very good wide receiver core: Devontae Adams, Hunter Renfrow, and Jacoby Myers. Although they did get a little worse in the receiving room when they gave up Darren Waller, which we'll get to in a second. But I like that Raiders receiving core.
What do you guys think about it? Because he's doing a lot of the talking. What do you guys think?
Jacoby Myers. So.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's a valuable pickup.
Yeah, he's
Obviously,
not a bad pickup.
He's a pretty good receiver.
I think it's just funny the team he went to with going the game-winning touchdown basically.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I mean, I like what the Raiders are doing. They're trying to build.
But
offense.
he's not a bad
I think they need to work more on their defense because you have Josh Jacobs already as your running back. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo is going to be average, and then you got 3 pretty decent receivers.
Yeah.
Obviously, losing Darren Waller.
They're not a bad offense.
But they're putting together.
Yeah, they lost their tight end.
But they weren't a bad offense last year. That wasn't the problem. They weren't a bad offense the year before. It was their defense, specifically their back end.
And that's where they need to spend some money.
They got Chandler Jones, and they already have good edge rushers, but they can't get to the quarterback.
Max Crosby.
Yeah, they did not get to the quarterback last year. So if they can get to the quarterback, I think that will offset some of the problems in the back end. But they have to draft in the secondary. Look for them to draft in the secondary before we get into the draft here in a couple of weeks.
Speaking of the draft, what they got returned for Darren Waller, they traded away to the New York Giants, was a 3rd-round pick, 100th overall, and that was it.
That's crazy.
And Darren,
He hasn't played the past 2 years, though.
I mean, Darren Waller, you're talking top 5, top 3 tight end in the league.
He's had health problems. I think a 3rd-round pick is appropriate. I mean, Jalen Ramsey was a 3rd-round pick. Ramsey was a 3rd-round pick.
Dude, I don't know. I think
Would you trade a 1st-round pick for
the
Darren
Giants
Waller?
ripped the Raiders off.
Would you trade a 2nd-round pick for Darren Waller?
No, I wouldn't.
Yes.
I wouldn't.
No way. No way.
Listen to him his past 2 years. 2022, he had 28 receptions for 388 yards, 3 total touchdowns. 2021, 55 catches, 665 yards, 2 touchdowns. He hasn't played.
You're trading a 2nd-round pick for a tight end.
Yeah.
It hasn't
tight
played
end?
the past 2 years.
He's an elite tight end.
That hasn't been playing.
He has elite talent.
Yeah, he could be.
But
good
it's not
too,
an
but if
elite
he's not on the-
position.
yeah,
It's not an elite
exactly.
position.
You need a
But,
receiver.
But okay, there are certain people that can make a position that is not elite, right?
I think the only.
Travis Kelce makes the tight end.
I'm not even
position.
trading a second round pick for Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce is not a good
I
blocking
don't know
tight end.
about that.
He's not a good.
I don't
blocking-
know about that, dude. He's the number one receiver on the Chiefs.
Yeah, because that's the system that they use. He's the number one receiver on the Chiefs.
And
That's
he
the
can be
system.
the number one receiver on most teams. He has that type of talent.
I don't know about that. A lot of teams like to use their tight ends as blockers. I don't know if he's the same player. as-
George Kittle's a hell.
I think George Kittle's the best. I would trade a second round pick for George Kittle, but he has health problems. So even then, I
Exactly.
probably wouldn't because Kittle's the best blocking tight end and he's the best pass catcher tight end. For Gronk, I mean, look at Gronk.
Dude, I don't
When
know.
they
Like
wanted-
draft
when they
picks
wanted
can
to
turn
change-
into nothing
when they
too,
wanted
so
to
it feels like
change
it's a
Gronk-
low risk, high
But
reward
no,
situation.
but you're going to get more value out of a second rounder that you draft today than a guy who's not going to stay on the field who's a tight end. And who I would argue is regressing at this point in his career. Who's
Yeah,
regressing?
exactly.
know.
He's gonna be regressive.
No.
Draft picks don't always work out. You know, the risk versus reward ratio. I feel like I'm getting more reward if I'm getting Darren Waller.
Absolutely,
than a
but
Darren Pitt.
if you trade a second round pick for a tight end, you're an idiot. There you go. You wouldn't have a GM job if you did that.
Sorry, Paul.
You're an idiot if you want to do that. I think a third round pick was appropriate. It makes sense to me. And yeah,
All right, let's move on. The Vikings release Adam Thielen.
I'm flustered.
I mean, I kind of understood this pick or this for sure. You know, they have Justin Jefferson. You know, top 3 receiver in the league. I would argue.
Best. Probably
Um,
the best.
what?
Probably the best.
I would say so. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's not a bad thing.
Or Jacoby Myers.
No. I mean, Justin Jefferson is definitely in the top 3.
Top 2.
Maybe top 2. I mean, you can argue whatever way you want, but you know, Adam Thielen was their number 1 guy for all. He was pretty good for a while, and they just don't really need him anymore. You
He was
know,
never their number 1. He was always.
They literally had Stephon Diggs.
They had Diggs.
That's crazy.
right? Yeah,
He
that
was
too.
always good, though.
He's always really
He
good.
was
He's
good.
actually good.
He was the number 1 for a couple of years after Diggs left.
Because
Maybe it was just a
they
year.
drafted Jefferson that year.
Yeah, it was just a year.
That's crazy.
Anyway,
Stephon
I think
Diggs.
Adam Thielen could be like a sneaky good pickup for a team that needs a wide receiver.
Patriots.
Not for the Patriots,
I'm
baby.
not saying
I'm being dead ass.
I'm not. I mean, the
Why
Patriots
not?
good. I'd be fine with Adam Thielen on the Patriots. I think that would help you. a lot.
Honestly, I could see the fit. He looks like a typical receiver the Patriots would be looking
Yeah.
for. So,
I mean, I think he could fit well into the Belichick system.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to lead separation anymore.
yeah,
I don't think
definitely.
I don't think he's a
definitely
leader
slowed down a
anymore.
little bit.
I think he's just another Devontae Parker, just a slightly better version of Devontae Parker. And Nelson Aguilar at this point in his career. He's a good wide receiver too.
Yeah, he's not a lead guy.
He's not elite.
I'm not saying he's elite. I'm saying he could be a sneaky good pickup.
He's
There's a
also
difference.
injured a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
The Falcons signed Taylor Heineke. The upside is good, is what I meant. That's the
Well,
word I was
well, no,
thinking.
the upside would be bad because he's old. He's older. Can somebody look up an age for me so I don't sound like I'm saying he's older?
Like 32.
Yeah, he's older for a
He
wideout.
is 32.
Okay, so you're gonna get what? Maybe 1 or 2 more good years of production?
Yeah, but okay, listen. But he could help you for those 1 or 2 years. You know what I'm saying?
He's not going to be that much of a game changer. Where you're going to be
You're gonna win his
contender all of a
Super Bowl.
sudden.
Okay, okay. In the AFC East, Paul, if Adam Thielen is your wide receiver number 1.
I'm not saying it for the Patriots.
No. Let's just use the
Listen,
Patriots as a
listen,
hypothetical because you
listen.
said it would be not be a bad pickup. Okay, what is he gonna do on? Let's just say Miami's quarterback runs Jalen Ramsey. Who do you like in that matchup, Jalen Ramsey or Adam Thielen?
Ramsey. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that he's going to, go up against elite corners and
Tre'Davious White and Adam Thielen.
Tre'Davious White,
Sauce Gardner and Adam Thielen.
Sauce Gardner.
Okay, there you go. So
I'm
the
not.
Patriots-
I didn't say he was going to go up against elite corners and perform, insane. What I said was he could be a decent pickup for a team that needed a wide receiver.
The Patriots
I'm
need a
not-
wide receiver, and he
I'm not
was,
saying the Patriots.
but
I'm
that's
saying
a team,
any
but I'm
team-
saying that is a team that would need a receiver. They just let go of one of their best, so
Yeah, true.
obviously they
So
wouldn't
can
be
other
enough.
teams, but
The Indianapolis Colts. There you go. Michael Pittman as your one.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that actually is. I like that fit better than the Patriots.
They just don't have a quarterback, so that's not the move I would make.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gotta figure out that little Matt Ryan.
Speaking of quarterbacks, the Falcons signed Taylor Heineke. I mean,
Okay,
does he start?
Desmond Ritter?
I don't know who's.
Does he start?
Oh well, I think he only signed there because he knows he's gonna have an opportunity to play.
Play, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know what.
that would make sense.
I don't
He's
know what
certainly
Atlanta's
going to
gonna do.
compete for the starting
The
job.
more I think about it, the more I think Atlanta is stupid for not going after Lamar,
I know.
making it like a heavy push for Lamar.
Yeah, he could be a good fit for that team. Yeah, for sure. Another quarterback, the Saints re-signed Jameis Winston.
Can we let him go?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess I'm not like upset with it. Like, he's not a bad like QB to have.
Winston or Heineke?
Winston.
Okay.
I mean, he's not gonna like win you a Super Bowl, but
No, and you
he
just
can
signed Derek
get some
Carr,
wins with him.
who you definitely intend to be your starter.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good backup. If Derek Carr gets hurt, Jameis Winston will step in and be a good quarterback.
Yeah,
I don't think he's average. I think he'd be good. He's obviously not elite, but he's a good quarterback.
which is why they felt they needed to sign Carr in the first place.
God.
All right. Last signing that we're going to talk about, Alan Lazard signs with the Jets. And this one's interesting with the Aaron Rodgers connection to it. Aaron Rodgers said earlier, actually not said, but he's been pushing for the Jets to sign certain receivers, including Alan Lazard, Randall Cobb, and
Mercedes Lewis.
who?
Mercedes Lewis, the tight end.
Mercedes Lewis. There was one more. Oh, Odell. It was OBJ. Was the other one that I saw.
I think that would be a very good team.
I think that would be. I mean,
They're not being Buffalo.
Really?
Not being
dude,
Buffalo.
I mean,
I don't
look
see
at,
Buffalo as
look at that receiving
Not be
core.
Buffalo.
It's
Buffalo
already
is always
good.
the best team.
That receiving core
Like
is already good.
complete team. Always the best. Can they win?
I wouldn't even say that. Buffalo, Colin Cowherd makes a good analogy. They're like Tyson, like the Mike Tyson of boxing. They're either gonna kill you or if they get
We made
punched
this analogy
if
on
they
this
get-
podcast before.
if they get punched in the face like against Cincinnati, they just weather down. They got some inconsistencies with the run game, but I really think, guys, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers has fallen off the cliff, but I'm saying he's on the tail end of the career. He's a guy who's been known to scramble. He only had one rushing touchdown last year. He wasn't great last year, and I understand he just won 2 MVPs the prior 2 seasons to that, but I don't know. I mean, I think if you get Randall Cobb, great. And Randall Cobb's
You're already
passes
looking at a good receiving team as it is, with Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore. Garrett Wilson's very good.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. He can
I
develop
think
into a wide
I think you
receiver.
give him the right quarterback, he's an easy wide receiver.
But I think also the run game there, Brees Hall is very intriguing to me. And I don't know if Eric can survive in that market. Playing in New York is in
They got a sneaky good offense.
a lot of.
Or they could. I mean, you add Alan Lazard in the mix, obviously already has a connection with Rodgers if he chooses to sign them.
He's a blocking receiver. He's a great blocking receiver. He's not a very good pass catcher, I don't think. I mean, he's okay. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's a good blocking.
But he already has the chemistry,
No, I
You
agree.
wouldn't need to.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying if we're looking at how that offense is going to be constructed with Aaron Rodgers, it's still going to be more of a run-based offense with the great running back of Brees Hall. Brees Hall was fantastic last year through 8 games. So it's going to be more of a run-first offense.
Michael Carter, too.
Yeah, it's going to be more of a run-first offense, like it was in Green Bay with A.J. Dillon, shout out Boston College product, and Aaron Jones. So, yeah, it's going to be a similar type of offense. I think it's a done deal, basically. He's going to be a New York Jet.
Yeah, I think so, too.
But we could talk about this because I think it's a good topic, but I don't think he's got a worse chance of winning the Super Bowl in New York than he does in Green Bay. What do you guys think about that?
I mean,
Oh,
the Jets aren't close to winning a Super Bowl quite yet, but they're on the rise. It's just how far would he have to go to follow them to the top? You know what I mean? Like how long can he survive, really? Because he's already getting up there and age-wise.
Think about the teams he's got to beat in the
I was
NFC.
about to say that.
Think about the teams he's got to beat in the NFC. Okay, there's only San Francisco really you're afraid of.
Eagles.
Philly, but Philly's losing some guys.
Yeah.
Dallas maybe, but Dallas is very inconsistent. So he could possibly be in any year, and his division's not that good. He can win that division.
Oh yeah, that's true. The AFC is. He probably does have a better shot.
What is he? He's not beating Kansas City. He's not going to beat Cincinnati. Buffalo toss up. The Chargers are tough.
Jags are good.
Jacksonville's going to get better. He's still got to play the Patriots.
Miami.
You got to still play Belichick. You got to play Miami. You got to play Tomlin. You got to play Lamar probably still. Yeah, cool. You might win the division, but then you got to beat Cincinnati and Green Bay. I mean, I just don't feasibly see him doing it. It'd be a nice story. It'd be cool if the Jets won the Super Bowl. I'm gonna be honest. As a Patriots fan, I hate the Jets, but it'd be cool if the Jets won a Super Bowl. It'd be kind of cool, interesting.
Because they've been so bad for so long. It'd be like, it's almost a comeback story.
It would catapult him into, I hate saying it, a top 5 quarterback. If he won a Super Bowl in New York and Green Bay, he's a top 5 quarterback of all time without question. 2 Super Bowls, that's elite. That's when he become elite. That's what he needs. That second Super Bowl. What do you think about it? Do you think he has a better chance of winning in New York or Green Bay? Or what do you think he should do, just in general?
I think he should go to New York just for a change of scenery and stuff like that. But I mean, them necessarily having a better chance at winning the Super Bowl now, I wouldn't necessarily say that. But I mean, I guess you never know. He could definitely bounce back from the year he just had, and like you said, he did just have 2 MVPs, so he still could have some of that player left. But I don't know. I don't necessarily think Super Bowl champions is in the books for it though.
That's fair. So they
All right. I mean, obviously, I think Aaron Rodgers should send the Jets. I think it would be a great move for them. And I think their offense is a lot better. But do I think it puts them in a spot, like you said, in the crowded AFC, where they're going to be a top contender? I don't think so.
Are they going to be ripping out
Yeah.
wins?
What?
Ripping out wins.
I mean, I think I think they'll definitely win a little bit more, but
Of course. They
I
probably
just-
finished 10-7.
10-7, 11-6.
yeah, but I just like Andy said, I don't see them beating some of the top teams in the AFC.
Like them
playoffs.
beating Patrick Mahomes as a 41, 42-year-old.
Yeah, I just don't
Do I
see.
see? No.
By the way, folks, if
Herbert?
there's-
No.
If there's any noise in the background, the wind's whipping off the lake here pretty good, so just ignore that.
Ignore that.
Ignore that.
What? I'm a cap.
Are we good on NFL free agency?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have some more stuff to talk about next week, I assume.
All right. Want to talk about the World Baseball Classic briefly?
Sure.
So we're roughly midway through, right?
Group play is almost over,
Yeah.
so yes.
Yeah. So group play is almost over. We're roughly midway through. My pick of the Dominican Republic is not looking like it's going to be accurate to win the whole thing. They've lost a couple of games.
They're 1-1, dude.
Oh, right. They've only lost one game, my bad. Did they lose to Venezuela?
Absolutely crazy.
Yeah, they
They lost
lost
to
to
Venezuela.
Venezuela's been looking very
And they're
good.
3-0, so that's not a bad team.
And the Dominican plays Puerto Rico tonight.
That's gonna.
That's going to be interesting, actually.
Big
See,
game.
that should be a really good game.
The Dominican beat.
Actually, Dominican's beating Israel right now.
Oh, tomorrow.
1-0. Yeah, they play Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're beating Israel 1-0.
So they beat Nicaragua last night, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and then Venezuela just beat Nicaragua.
Venezuela is a sneaky good team. I mean, I think, we kind of had this conversation much the other day. You look at their roster, it's, you definitely got some talent on there. You got Acuna, in the pitching staff, you got Pablo Lopez, Martin Perez, who had a career year last year.
Of course, he mentions the former Red Sox. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I like Martin Perez.
Martin Perez sucked when he was on the Red Sox.
Can
but he was
we-
great for the Rangers.
Can we take a moment and understand how good Anthony Santander is playing right now? He's
Yeah.
incredible right now.
He's definitely been on the come up for sure.
I mean, last year he had a breakout year, I'd say.
Yeah.
He kind
It was
of,
probably
For
the year
sure.
before that.
but this year, right now in the World Baseball Classic,
Stepping up, becoming.
he's becoming a big time.
Yeah. He's definitely becoming
His
a
swing
big
is so
player.
beautiful.
I don't mean to cut. But this was an interesting thing. This is another interesting thing I wanted to ask you guys. So, a lot of obviously Team USA's pitchers backed out. Now, I think the World Baseball Classic is a good thing overall. We talked about the economic standpoint, just the standpoint of the world itself. But what do you guys think? Because I know it's some guys' contracts, they're allowed to do it, but some guys, if the teams say no, they can't do it. That's why you don't see a lot of pitchers throw it. What do you guys think? What do you think would be a system to make this where other guys can play so we can have the best of the best? Because I don't feel like I'm watching really good, but I'm not watching the best of the best play all the time. What do you think is a system where we can have, especially pitchers, because batters, this is a good thing for it because they're seeing more arms, they're getting more reps.
Right.
What do you think for pitchers? What do you think we could do so these guys can throw?
I got an idea. You know, when a team signs a guy, be upfront with them and maybe put in his contract. You know, be like, do you want to go play the World Baseball Classic? You know, if so, like, you know, we're gonna have like a certain clause, or you know, we're gonna evaluate the contract a little differently because you're not gonna be with our club for a certain percentage of the time, and also in the contract that you know if you get hurt during the World Baseball Classic, basically we're not liable for it. You know, or, you know, there's legal implications there.
Right.
But you know, you just have to kind of be upfront with these guys that you know if you've already seen the history of them wanting to go play for their team, then you know you be upfront with them about it and sign them.
Right.
Do you guys agree with that, or?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right. Another sneaky good team that I've been watching a couple games of. All right, Mexico. Mexico is sneaky good. You know, their lineup, you know, you look at it, it's not super flashy, but it has a lot of good players, and you know they're doing.
What's the first player you think of when you think of Team Mexico?
Alex Verdugo.
Of course.
I
You bandwagon.
think of Jared Durant. No, joking.
I think of Randy.
Randy Rosarina, that's another one. You know, they have a sneaky good team, and they've been putting together a lot of wins. They're
Joey Meneses.
Joey Meneses.
He had a big step up with the Nationals last year.
He also dicked us, Team
He hit
USA.
a monster shot.
He dicked on us. So.
Wait, you see he backflipped the bat like 25 feet in the air, like
Yeah.
after hitting an absolute bomb.
But
They killed us.
you know, they certainly have a very potent offense. You know, if, you know, probably like that, they put up a lot of runs. You know, they get a lot of hits, they get a lot of hard contact. So, you know, I think you could see them advance farther than maybe people have predicted. You know, do I think they're gonna win? I don't really think so. I think Ben's pick of Japan is looking more accurate to win than maybe anyone
They're
else.
already advanced into the quarterfinals.
I feel like they're also playing in a weaker pool though.
Are they?
Australia was their second best team. It's like Australia,
Shit, that Shaq was
Korea.
China.
China's
China's
awful.
Korea's good.
Korea's look pretty good.
And they have a check.
How was that?
All right. Anything else you guys want to talk about the World Baseball Classic? Or those were kind of like my two thoughts so far. Or do we want to talk about Team USA? We haven't talked about that yet.
We talked about their win last night.
Yeah, they looked good in the
29
first
runs.
inning. Arenado's played really well.
Yeah.
Arenado's looked really good. The lineup's fine. I mean, scored 6 against Great Britain, scored 6 against Mexico. It's obviously going to come down to pitching, and we'll see. They got they got 2 more, right? 2 more
Lost to
games?
Mexico.
Yeah, they got 2 more against Venezuela and who else is in our group that we haven't played? Venezuela and
Canada.
we played
They
Canada.
play
Oh, we
they
just played
Sumo.
Canada.
Colombia.
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 Yeah, so they got to play those 2 teams, and they got to win both probably just to feel safe.
Yeah.
Uh,
I don't know. Venezuela's a toss up to me.
We'll see. We'll see how it all plays out. But yeah, the Dominican, Puerto Rico, and they're going to be in a dogfight to get that second spot. It looks like in the last group.
Yep.
I think it's Group B. Group B had everybody finish 2-2, I think, or something like that. I think it's going to be
That's crazy.
Cuba, and I think it's a Chinese Taipei that's advancing. Are those the top 2 teams in the standings or something like that? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I have no idea.
And you
what
get the
pool?
standings up right
I
now.
say B or A
Cuba
It's A has it's Cuba and Italy right now.
as the top 2.
Yep.
Okay, so that's probably what it will be.
Italy. There you go, Paul.
Let's go, dude.
So if you look at it, Japan's gonna play that. Who finished second? Cuba.
Italy.
Okay, so Japan's gonna play Italy.
Yeah,
Australia
they're
will
playing
play.
them on Thursday.
Australia will play
You
Cuba.
guys see that Italy has an espresso machine in the dugout? That's awesome.
I see that, but you're not Italian, so it doesn't matter.
I am. But that's not important.
That's not the point.
That's not important. All right. Do we want to talk about our March Madness brackets? Did you guys fill them out?
I got mine up.
I don't have.
Actually,
mine's
let's
on
wait
the
to do it until we all fill it out.
Mine's on the computer.
You want to?
Wow.
Are you just talking
We
about your
should-
winner?
I'll just talk. I know who I have in my final four.
Yeah.
I just
So
want to talk about
I'll just look at it right now and I'll tell you. What.
I have.
Oh yeah, you can go.
I do. I have a math system, a mathematical system.
Okay.
I look at the KenPom rankings. So if you don't know what this is, very nerdy. The KenPom rankings show like efficiency, like how efficient you are, your wins, like quality of opponents, all that. It's like a ton of math. Then I look at offensive and defensive efficiency. And then I just do some simple things where I go back and I look at the last 5 tournaments to pick upsets. Because, you want to pick your 12-5 upset, you want to pick your 11-6 and your 13-4 upsets. And then you want to look at, what percentage of top 4 seeds make it to the Sweet 16. It's a bunch of stuff. And it usually never works out. But I have in my final 4 from Alabama's region, I have Alabama. Alabama's a very easy region when I looked at it. I have Alabama playing Creighton in that Elite 8. I then have Purdue losing to Memphis, Duke beating Memphis, and then I have Duke playing Michigan State in my Elite 8. So a 5 versus a 7, and I believe that's the East region. So I have Duke making it to the Final 4 because I think that region's wide open. Kentucky, Michigan State.
Northwestern.
Is Northwestern in that region?
Don't they play them in the first game?
Northwestern plays
Duke.
Boise State.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking the wrong region.
Duke
then.
plays Oral Roberts.
Duke plays Oral Roberts. Sorry, I knew it was one of my underdog picks.
And then on the Kansas side, I got Kansas winning that region. Then I have Texas. And I have in my national title game Texas and Alabama. I really like Texas a lot. Probably going to get burned because last year I really liked Tennessee and Tennessee burned me. So I really get caught up sometimes in the trendy pick because Texas played so well in the Big 12 and then the Big 12 tournament. So I have Texas beat Alabama in my final for sure. Texas beat Alabama 68-64.
I don't remember what I had for my Elite 8. Maybe back in I did it on my phone, so I don't know how
You
to.
could
get
just
back.
go to the ESPN tournament challenge on
Yeah.
here.
Right, but if I exit the app, we'll stop recording. Oh, is that mine?
Even if you
No,
click
this is
that,
not yours. What are you talking
Oh,
about? Just look at it.
look at the
Just
thing.
pick your teams.
right. I mean, I know I had Alabama.
Uh-huh.
I had Northwestern going to the Elite 8. I had Kansas. I had Houston.
Do you have all one seeds?
Probably.
No, I mean Northwestern isn't a 1 seed.
No, in your final. What do you have in your final 4?
I don't remember, but I remember I had Kansas winning it.
Kansas win the whole thing.
I had Kansas winning the whole thing.
Okay. That's
And
fine.
I don't remember who I said was going to win the whole thing on the podcast next week, but I've changed my mind to be in Kansas now. So.
I'm gonna have Alabama.
You said UVM.
No, I didn't. Don't gaslight me like that.
Alabama versus.
I really don't want Alabama to win. They're a very unlikable team, obviously, because of the stuff that's going on. But with Brandon Miller and their that situation. But
Was it Missouri who upset Purdue or something? Or am I thinking of something completely different?
who upset Purdue?
I remember watching on TV.
Rutgers beat them earlier this year.
It might not. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But I'm gonna have Missouri versus Alabama, and I'm gonna have Purdue. No, not Purdue. What am I doing? I go Tennessee versus Michigan State.
Ooh. Okay. Tennessee is very good in the KenPom, so I don't mind that pick at all. It's actually I like that.
And then I'm gonna go.
They do have a guard injured, but
I'm gonna go. I had Indiana, so I'm gonna have Indiana playing Auburn. Is that right? Yeah, that matches up.
right.
And then that win is how.
It's crazy.
Oh wait, that would match up. Never mind.
Hopefully this doesn't mess up our
I'm
background
gonna
noise.
go Indiana versus. I'm just gonna go Texas.
You can tell. You barely hear it.
Oh shit. And then for the West, I'm gonna go. Let's go UConn versus.
Yep.
I'm gonna go UCLA,
I like it. I like it.
and then I need to say who I have.
My bracket.
Oh, yeah, you
my
can
final
have
one.
one.
Let me say who I have. I'm gonna
Just
go-
give your final four.
Indiana.
Mhm.
I'm gonna go with UCLA,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna go Michigan State.
Sounds like a very fun final four. I like this. I like this. Just like the teams.
And then I'm gonna have to go
We
Alabama.
got great coaches in that. That's gonna be good. I like that
Yeah.
final four. I like that final four right there.
Oh,
I could see it happen. This year's crazy. This year's crazy. If you're a college basketball fan, you know this year's been pretty weird.
all right. So I have Alabama, Marquette,
Okay.
Texas, and Kansas. And then my championship, I have.
Marquette's interesting. Marquette is a very interesting team. They're a team that wins a lot of close games and got hot really at the end of the
And
year.
I think that's what matters the most coming tournament time.
But they're a weird team. They're a team I just don't like. They're one of those teams I watch and like I don't like, just don't like them. Like I don't see them being an elite team, but I like it. They win. Hey, all that matters is winning. So doesn't matter how you do it.
And then I have Kansas.
I like
the
it.
whole thing.
Yeah, I have them going back to back. I just like their team.
Yeah.
I think they have 4 guys.
All right. Now that we're done talking about football and basketball, since I don't think we're gonna have time to get through both of our MLB topics before the audio cuts off, do you guys want to end it now, or do you guys want to try to get at least one of the
What
two
do you
in?
What do you mean, dude?
What
What
are
do
the,
we have with the baseball?
what are the topics?
We just
Uh,
talked about the World.
Oh, we
Baseball
did just talk about the World Baseball Classic. Okay, so the two things jump up for MLB streaming games for free in some markets, and the
Dude, say
Angels owner,
market. Market.
the Angels owner explains why he rejected record bids.
Go ahead. Dive in.
So
That's what you
let's-
here.
we'll try to get it under the hour. All right, let's start with MLB streaming games for free in some markets. So Diamond Sports, which was one of their TV providers that they had contracts with, held the TV broadcasting rights of at least 6 MLB teams that will be getting streamed for free now. Is filing for bankruptcy, so they're cutting their contracts with the teams. The company is Diamond Sports. So, quote from MLB Chief Revenue Officer Noah Garden: "If any of the RSNs are no longer able to produce local games, we will be in a position to step in to produce and distribute those games with linear and direct-to-consumer options." So basically, this means games are going to be broadcast on the MLB Network and streamed on MLB TV, which I think is great because I don't think they have enough MLB games on MLB Network in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of talk shows, not a lot of actual games, and I
Yeah,
don't think
That's what the
that's
fans care about.
Yeah.
They don't want to. They don't really care about that analyst.
Right, they
talking
don't-
about sports.
they don't care as
want-
much
they
about
want to
analysts
see the
talking
game.
as they care about actual games, like watching actual games.
You like
And
that?
what?
You like that?
And
Wow.
and you know, one great side effect from this is going to be no local blackouts at all
Great.
in any of these teams.
This
Um,
guy.
in any of these teams, there's going to be no local blackouts, which means fans are going to get to watch their teams that they wouldn't usually otherwise watch. So yeah, I think this is a great thing for the league, and yeah, I mean, what do you guys think about it?
I think it's good that no blackouts because I think people are sick and tired of sitting there trying to watch a game and then having their TV turn blank. And also having more availability for streaming, watching games because that's what fans want. They want to see, the live play. They don't want to watch a guy sit there and be like, oh, it's the 7th inning. Like, you want to sit there and watch the game.
Right, exactly. I think this will help MLB Network's ratings probably go up
Yeah.
a good amount.
Yeah.
Who wants to sit there and listen to, Chris the Mad Dog Russo talk for 2 hours? But no, you want to sit and watch a game.
You want to watch the Red Sox lose on a Friday.
It's always a good time.
Friday night.
except for when they're playing the Yankees. All right. Hey, what do you think about this? Do you have any thoughts other than what we've already said, or?
I think it's overall it's a good thing. I like a random summer day if it's the game on the MLB Network. Yeah, I like flicking it on. It's nice to have more games for free. Obviously, I think that's a good thing. It's always fun to just watch random teams play, and I think it's gonna be a good thing for the game. Obviously, a game that's struggling. So, thumbs up from me. Good decision by the league.
Yeah, good, definitely good business decision because otherwise they wouldn't have been able to find another contract with another distributor, this close to the season. So I mean, they were kind of forced into the having to broadcast for free, and I think it shows that they could have done this a while ago. They just wanted to make more money, which as a business I can't blame you, but obviously for fans. You're making the prices of these streaming services and cable so expensive. It's just, some people can't afford that. And, then it's a shame when people don't get to watch the games. But, my point is this will have access, or more people will have access to the games now than before. So I like this. All right. So, I mean, that was just kind of a quick overview of that. We definitely got time. So our last topic for the day, Angels owner Adi Moreno explains why he rejected record bids on the Angels this offseason. So they were put up for sale after there was a collapse of $320 million in a land deal with the city of Anaheim for the area around the stadium. And, this obviously hurt their pockets. So, it made the owner want to sell the team. But in the end, he didn't sell it because, and I quote from Art Moreno, "In my heart, I just couldn't go through with it." What do you guys think? Like, is that a good reason for someone to not sell a team?
I mean, he owns it. It's only going to grow. It's sports.
Do you really think the Angels are going to grow? I mean, they're kind of like we've talked about. Their
sports teams are like houses; they appreciate. So that's good real estate to have.
True.
Because we'll
they're
watch
caught
10,
territory.
watch 10 years down the line, that could be $5 billion.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter even how good the team is necessarily. If you look at any sports team that's
It
recently.
matters how big their fan base is. I wouldn't say the Angels have a huge fan base.
Well, no, all these teams, no matter how big or small they are, no matter the sport, they all appreciate and value. They're all going to get bigger. They're all going to grow. It's just the nature of the game. I understand that they may have a smaller fan base than even their crosstown rivals. Well, not crosstown, but you get the point. In the Dodgers.
Yeah.
But they're going to grow. It's going to be more and more money. So, and I don't know if he has kids. I don't know what that type of deal is. If he wants to pass it on to the family, it's ultimately his decision. And the longer you can hold on to those type of assets, like a house, like a baseball team, if you're that rich, they're going to appreciate it and you're going to get more money out of it. You're going to get more of a return. I don't know what he bought the Angels at. I assume it's obviously not as much as it would be.
I don't think it was as much at all because the offers that he was getting so the previous record was $2.4 billion. That's what Steve Cohen bought the Mets for. And the offers he was getting here, all three of them were 2.6 or above. So, you would have gotten a very large payout, largest in league history.
Dude,
So
stop with the accent.
yeah, I mean, I just like from a money perspective, you could definitely sell it if you wanted to, but I mean, I can understand having like an emotional attachment to it. It's like
I mean,
when you
personally,
invest in something, you want it to do well, and he probably wants to stick around until they start winning better. And they start kind of growing a little more, and I hope that happens, but just. I don't see it for the next couple of years, for sure. And, they might lose their biggest star after this year in Shohei. They have Trout locked up, but I don't think they're locking up Shohei.
I mean, personally, if I was in his shoes, if I was like an owner of a team, I would want to keep my franchise to try to build it up.
Right.
because obviously where they're at, I mean, they're not making they haven't made the postseason.
Right.
They have they're below average team every year in, year out, and they have two of the biggest stars in baseball right now. Like, obviously, he wants to try to make this team better, and build it himself. So,
Right.
like, I would want to keep the team,
If
but
you think
obviously,
about it from
2.6 billion is pretty tempting.
And if you think about it from an investment standpoint, if they're already valued at 2.6 million and they just get better, then you're looking at 2.8, 3.
I didn't mention
If your
that.
investment
I didn't
grows.
mention that, but you didn't listen to me.
Um,
They'd say like 10 years down the line, the team could be worth about, say
Right.
3 to 5.
Right. So I'm just mostly agreeing with you,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, I understand it from a certain standpoint, but then also like, when is your point to get out? Because if you're at the top, it could be at the top of their value. Yeah, if you're thinking record deal, that's maybe the most that you're gonna get. So I mean, it's a risk reward thing, and like it doesn't feel like, I mean, I could be wrong, but maybe he wasn't looking at it from as much of a business perspective and more of an emotional perspective.
Yeah, I would say he probably had more emotional. It's definitely more of an emotional attachment to the team over the business. But
I agree with that.
His team, he does whatever. I guess he can do it.
It's
Yeah,
Or
I just thought it was interesting, like I'd never really seen an owner come out and say like, I just couldn't sell the team. I mean, I can't think of any other instances where we've seen that type of thing.
Yeah.
Especially in MLB. All right, so do you guys have anything more to add on that, or are we good?
No, I'm good. I think we covered that pretty much.
All right, so thank you guys for listening. I think we had another good pod today. We always appreciate your support, and hopefully we'll be getting some clips up on our social in the next few days. So look out for those. Follow us on 3bros.1buddy on Instagram and
Breaking
TikTok.
news.
And
We have a TikTok, Instagram,
Yep.
and
We have a YouTube channel
And
that
a
we're
YouTube
live
channel.
streaming on currently right now.
Yep.
we're live
our
streaming.
live stream goes up on the 3 Bros and a Buddy YouTube channel. You can go check that out. Just look us up. And we always appreciate your support. Thank you guys, and have a good day.
Peace
Signing
out,
off.
everyone.
a good one.